Right. So we're gonna add, oh, sorry, I'm gonna be sneezing every now and then today. I'm a bit under the weather. We're back. So I'm gonna place a node for a head wall. And over here I chose the PW parallel wing wall, 36-inch, 6:1. I'm gonna put that right here. My reference elevation, I'm gonna choose the edge of pavement. I'm gonna place it approximately like anywhere here, really matter. And then rotate it. Something like this. I wonder if it's like this or the other way. Let's try it this way. I'll put another one right here. So like this. Place my head walls. Oh, now I just need to place my conduits. So since this is a 36-inch on the parallel wing, so I'm gonna just do a 36-inch as well. Connecting the two. And say you have multiple barrels, you really just have to go to the properties, utility properties. Scroll down here and say you have 5 barrels or whatnot, you know, just draws it for you. So far so good on my 3D. Yes. Go ahead.
So my barrels are showing up as a line instead of the entire like 2D plan view.
Yeah, the
Do you know
reason
why that might
is
be?
you have the 3D model turned off.
Okay.
That's it. Because when you draw it, really it just draws a line, right? And then this is like a line style it applies in 2D. The actual cell is only drawn in 3D. So you have to turn on the 3D model and then it looks like actual barrels.
Okay. That's a quick fix. Thank you.
Yeah. So here in the 3D model, I take a quick look just to QC I did my culvert correctly. I mean, it looks okay. Maybe a little bit too close to the edge of pavement, so let me just move it out a little bit. Okay. And it looks like this right now. Okay. So now comes the question of like how do I tie this corridor to the head wall? Like make it stop here, do the the slope, the 6:1 slope, and yeah, just make it look neat. So what I did, I mean, there's multiple ways to do it, but what I've done here was I went to OpenRoads modeling, corridors, and I split the template drop. You know how we can make a copy of the template drop? I located the corridor. Oh, I cannot do it here, sorry. Save settings, and let's go back to the corridor file. This is just for drainage. Okay, so I'm gonna copy template drop. Okay, my template drop, corridor. I'm gonna split it from like the beginning of this parallel wing to the end of it. like over here. And the reason I did that is my template before the culvert looks like this, okay? It looks like a ditch, open ditch type of template. What I want through the culvert area is I don't want like that ditch. I just want it to tie to the top of the head wall. So I don't need that back slope basically. I just want like the daylighting. So I'm gonna come here and switch this template, but let me make sure I have the right template library loaded up. This one. So if you guys remember from the training, we created multiple templates. So I have this one, for example, okay? It's just a slope tie basically type of thing. I can use this one or this one. I mean, both of them would work. So I'll go to properties, switch it with this one. And now I don't have the ditch anymore. So I just need to tie the edges to the top. So how do I figure out the top? The easiest way is what I'm gonna do is just cut a section right at the culvert just to get the elevation of the top of the wall. Sure, I'm gonna open the section. My cross section looks like this. Okay. My elevation at the top of the wall is around 29, 829. Okay, so I'm gonna tie it to around 829. And on this side, it's also very similar. So 829 is my elevation. I just come here, put a geometry line, just a horizontal line. And I just gave it a feature definition that wouldn't like interfere with any other ones. I just chose grade earthwork proposed surface. It doesn't matter, but just choose anything other than edge of pavement. What I'm gonna do is just draw a line. Oh, snap to something. Just gonna draw a line along the top of the culverts, or the head wall, sorry. And draw another one right here. Okay. And I'm gonna give it a profile. There's this tool here called profile by constant elevation. This one, like you can just click on a line, reset, and then type in an elevation. So the one elevation that we are gonna use is 829. And I do that on the other side as well. So set 829 as well. If I open the profile view for this line, it looks just like a flat line with elevation 829. Okay. So you can open the profile view and just draw it manually also, either way. All right. Next step is we will tie the top to this. There's multiple ways to do it. One of them is point control. That's probably the easiest. So we'll do it with point control on one side, and then I'll show you the other method on the other side. So point controls requires us to go here and then edits, create point control, locate the corridor. Start station would be around here, and station is here. And this is going to be top of wall, sure. The point that I would like to have tie into this line is this outside point, right? It's called ditch flow line right. If I'm not sure, I can just open the template and look at this point, ditch flow line right, because I'm like upside down here. I don't know why I did this. Let me change the view. Okay, be easier to follow. So my alignment is going this way. So this is the right. So go to the point here, and then I'm gonna have it follow both horizontally and vertically. Except linear geometry, yes. I'm just gonna click on this line. Accept active geometry, yes. Let's click through these prompts. And I think it didn't work because we have a feature name override. Let's try to remove that. It didn't work. Maybe it's looking at another point, ditch flow line, right? Okay, sync. Got to resync. Come in here, point control. Ditch flow line, right? Everything looks good. I believe it could be the limits of the point control. Try to adjust that. I mean, it should be working. Not sure what's happening. Oh, it could be also because this is an end condition. It's not like yeah, it's an end condition. You guys see that? So it's checking for interception. It's taking that as a priority higher than, you know, higher than the priority of doing the point control. So if we want to fix that, we can just make a copy of this. Yeah, sorry, what'd you say, Evan?
I guess so the in conditions override the like any sort of point controls or parametric constraints. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah, and conditions have the highest priority.
Okay.
So if we want to fix this, all I need to do is right click on, like I made a copy, okay? I'm gonna delete from components, okay? That makes it just like a null point, it's called. Now like that, it's just a point. Then add new, and then just make it a constrained. I can do grading, and then TC grass. Just connect 2 lines and finish, and then do the same thing on the other side. That's pretty much it. Now if I double click on that point, it doesn't look for anything. You know, it's just a geometric line basically. So I'm gonna accept and close. And then I'm gonna replace this one more time with this one. And now it worked, okay.
Do you mind if we look at it in cross-section view?
Section, yeah, I was gonna do that because I have some doubts. Let's see, 50. All right, so it's still not tying. Interesting. Let's try something.
Is it because the point is lower than the head wall? I mean, is the
No,
ditch flow line point if it's already below, or is it going from the edge of pavement? So it's above the head wall.
it's gone from the edge of pavement. It shouldn't
Okay.
be doing this. But sometimes I'll show you something. Like sometimes this is way too short in the template, so like it doesn't see that point. Like it needs to go past it sometimes and then go back. Sometimes, I mean, let's try that. There's a lot of things we can try. Let's try to do 10, for example, here. Close and save. Save this template. So still didn't work. It just goes past it now. All right. Let's try to reapply the point control. I'm gonna delete this. So point control is no longer there. Let's try to apply it again. Great. And I'll tell you another reason why this might be happening, which is why it's very important to be organized in modeling. Okay, point. It could be reading the ditch flow line right point, which is this line, instead of like the outside. So I can check what that point name was, ditch flow line right. So it is still ditch flow line right. Yeah, this still might not work, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, it didn't work. The reason is, you know how I have multiple templates, one with ditch, one's without. This is my template, right? And it has another point called ditch flow line right. That could be messing with it because now two templates have the same point name, so it doesn't know which templates it needs to control. Which is why I think if I change this point name, let's call it tie right. Showing you like real life situations now. Let's resync. Of course, the point control is not going to work because it doesn't know the new point name. So come back here. Now I just have to change the point. Let's see if that worked. All right, finally, it worked. You guys see that?
So same process for the other side, and then I
Same
saw
process
you.
The other side, yeah.
I saw you did something where it like did the arc of the slope
Yeah,
at the inlet or outlet. Can we go over that too?
yeah, sure. So open the 3D view for a second. Right now, I have it looking like this. I'm gonna keep this view saved. All right, so the arc can be achieved also in multiple ways. There's a tool I tried to use multiple times for something like this, and it wouldn't work the way I intended it to work. It works sometimes good for like if there's no existing around you, but for something like this, what I've done typically is just really a geometric shape as well. So just arc between points. So I just, you know, draw from the flow line, start point, and end point, you know, closer to my, oh, not the center. Starting from here, not snap. Gosh, to turn off the snap. Something you need to do probably is also turn off your snaps sometimes in modeling. Causes more issues than. All right, so say this is my, you know, my fill slope. I just put in an arc, and this arc would be connecting 2 points. It'll be connecting the bottom of the wall to the flow line, correct? So if I were to look at the cross section again, my bottom of wall elevation is approximately 824.4. So I'll just open this profile view on this one. And you know, in the profile creation, we talked about this, the profile intersection point. You can just tell it, show me the intersection with this point. However, it's not intersecting. Okay, that's fine. Let's make it intersect. Oh, now I know my first point. My second point is at 824.4. So can come in and draw a vertical line. Start point will be right here. And then the end point will be, guess I'll just put it anywhere for now, and then I'll type in the elevation. 824.4. Again, if you snap, it's always gonna give you some issues. 824.4. Try not to snap. All right, and then I'm gonna activate this. I have now those 2 points. The next thing is draw a line this way between the top, horizontal line, sorry, between the top and should intersect with this arc that I drew, and then I need a third or final line between those two as well. So this will be my final line. And those two are kind of easy. You just come in here, do profile intersection point. I want to show the intersection between this line and this line, that line, and the top line. So draw a profile between them. Activate. And then lastly, it's going to be this one. Do the same thing, this line with this, and then with this. Let's connect the 2 points. Activate. And let me open the 3D view. So you can see now how everything looks, right? We'll be creating a terrain. If you go to the terrain and then you just select the from elements, you select those 3 lines. 2, 3, reset, and then break line is okay. Edge method, max triangle length is okay. 50 is okay. So now I've created the slope terrain. Last thing is I want to apply something called a surface template. If I click on the terrain, apply surface template, don't do the boundary. If I look at my templates, there's multiple ones. I mean, if you want to show dirt, you want to show riprap, say I want to show riprap or pavement or grass, whatever it is, you can just put it there. So say I want to do riprap on here. Riprap, data point to accept selection. So now it just applies like a thickness to it. So if I were to change this to illustration, looks like this. Okay.
So when you created that terrain, is that a separate, like, is that a
Yeah.
separate terrain?
It's separate from anything else. Like
Okay,
you can literally model this separately in a different file if you want.
okay.
Yeah. The other method or the other tool that I don't know, maybe you might have better luck than me trying to use it is where is it? Oh yeah, this one. Create conic slope. This one you have to choose like a primary line and a secondary line. So you still have to create those lines basically, you know. Let's give it a try. So say I want to have a, and they need to intersect as well. Say I want to have it like this. So you click on it, where is it? Say this is my primary, this is my secondary, and then you see how it draws the quarter circle. So you want it like this way. 0 offset, and then you choose the slope of the shape. And the primary and the secondary slope, which is basically this slope and this slope. I'm doing just 6 to 1. Fixed elevation value. This is where you choose if you want it to be based off of some primary line elevation. Second, this is the part that I'm still a little bit confused about, to be honest. Like it never worked with me. Was setting a fixed elevation value. But anyways, let's just choose this one, for example. And then you choose a top radius. You can do 0 or give it a small radius. This is where you choose the surface. So I'm just going to reset for active. Oh. 0 height, adjust elevation. So yeah, it's been giving me this type of issues. Although it did work the other day. Secondary line, okay, 0. So drew something for me here, but it's not exactly what I want. The reason why it stopped over here is because it's tying into the existing terrain. So if I were to turn on my existing terrain, you see how it ties into it?
Okay, so maybe not the best tool for like riprap on the sides.
Yeah, like unless you're trying to tie into existing. If you're trying to tie into existing, I mean, it works good, right? I mean, it kind of saved me a minute or two. I don't know why the lighting is so off. But this is kind of the, why is it black? Let me change this style to something else. Okay. That kind of shows you something like this. So if it's something you're tying into existing, it works fine. But If you're tying into a proposed elevation, you probably are better off using the terrain method. So yeah, like this one, if I were to use that tool, it would have stopped right here where the existing is. But in real life, like this is going to be excavated. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I had a question. So one of the questions that Evan asked earlier was, is that a terrain that you created? And you said, yeah. Does that mean, so is it like a template, or is it now automatically part of the corridor?
It's not part of the corridor, and it's not
Okay.
a template.
Okay. So it's just, it is a terrain. It is a proposed terrain. If you dropped a line across it, you would get that slope.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
let me show you the cross section.
Mhm.
If I were to locate station via data point and then cut a section right here,
Mhm.
for example, it's gonna look a little bit funky, but this is like the riprap, the thickness of the riprap that I have in the template. It's not tied to anything. Like I can delete the corridor and this will still stay.
Okay.
This is how we kind of model also intersections. So hopefully like on future trainings, we'll show you guys how to model an intersection. Kind of, we did this with the driveways, if y'all remember. We did a civil cell with the driveway, but basically, say you have a driveway coming off of here. I'm gonna do this very like quick, right? It's not gonna be the cleanest, but get the point. So say I have a driveway coming off of the edge of pavement. You would give these lines an elevation, and then you would create a terrain from those lines.
I remember now.
Yeah.
But it's still not a part of the corridor. That's just a different type of tool, a way of modeling.
Pretty much,
Gotcha.
yeah. Pretty much.
But it's tied to a corridor that's accurate, so that's why. Okay.
Exactly. And there was one more tool I wanted to show you. Just a different way to tie into the top. You'll still have to draw the line, like the other side. But say you didn't change this, from you say you still have this template. It's like an end condition, right? Still seeking something. Sometimes you don't want those end conditions to work, or you want to have an exception, right, in a certain area. Let me switch back to the other template with the end condition. Now it's not tying, right? We know why. How can I make an exception? There's a tool here called create end condition exception. In the edits, I can click on the corridor. I can just name the exception, for example, top of wall, for example. And this is where I choose which side do I want to override this. So I'm gonna choose the left for this side. Then I choose my start and end. So I want it to be somewhere here. Then you see how it gives me like an average section from my actual model. Right now, this is what it's showing me, what it's doing. I'm gonna tell this, or double click on the line itself. I'm gonna tell it, instead of tying into a terrain model, I want you to tie in to a feature definition, both horizontally and vertically. And I'm gonna choose the feature definition that I chose for that line, the yellow line that I drew. which was under grade, and then grade earthwork proposed surface. I can apply offsets, but if I wanted to tie in exactly, I'll just do 0, hit apply, close, and hit OK. Now it's looking for that line, okay? But I couldn't find it because there's something called corridor reference. So say I have that line drawn, you know, like I have multiple lines, for example, like in this case, on the left side and the right side. I either need to choose 2 different feature definitions, or like, you know, say there's a line somewhere else. Like you don't want the corridor to look for every single line in the whole file that has that feature definition. So what you do is you add a reference to tell it, look for this specific like line. So look at the corridor, and then you just click on the line that you want to add as a reference, then reset. And now it found it. So see how it tied into that feature definition? Does that make sense?
Yep.
This is
Makes
a little
sense.
bit more confusing than the point control, but the only hard, or not hard, but the only thing you gotta remember is the corridor reference. I've done this so many times where like, wait, why isn't it working? And then I remember I didn't add a reference. So, and this applies even to other things. So say you have some certain situation here, you know, from this area to this area, and you have this ditch over here. And you say, you know what, like I want to have a condition where I don't want it to create a ditch right here. You know, I just want it to tie in directly, for example. For example, let's try this. But now it just ties in directly. See the green line? So things like this you can do with the end condition exceptions. I don't use them too often, to be honest, but you see how it created that box as well. That box, you know, shows you the limits of the end condition exception. Kind of like when you put a point control and it draws this line. This is just a visual representation of the limits of the point control. This is the visual representation of the end condition exception. And say you want to edit this also, you can just click on this and modify it. Say you don't want it to place it at the intersection, you can also uncheck these things. Okay. So this is pretty much it. Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions for now. Might run into some when I'm trying to actually do this, but it seems pretty clear for me right now.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'm glad we ran into the issue of it not tying in when I had the end condition. So also point naming is important, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna stop the recording here.